Well, how's everybody doing today? And welcome to the Rip Rap Radio WTF2 show. I want to welcome you all and all you vile, filthy little bastards waiting in the chat to have your say so. I welcome you. And it's a beautiful day. So this is the Puking Dogs edition of Riff Raff Radio WTF2 every Saturday at 10 p.m. Philippine time. Today I have my co-host with me, Aloe DeWinter, my favorite lunatic. And we also have a very special guest with us today who's going to put out some great information. And he really knows what's going on here. I call him JW. He's Johnny the Warrior, Adventures of Johnny the Warrior. You all know and love him so dearly. All right.
I like pizza.
Yeah, I want to kick this off by saying I went and seen the doctor today. Not today, this week. Okay. And they took chest x-ray, they did this, they did that, blood pressure, all that shit. And then I went in and I talked to the doc and he says to me, he goes, Popeye, man, you got to cut down on the friggin' caffeine. All right. And I said, I know, doc. I said, I drink a lot of caffeine you know, while I'm doing this Riff Raff radio show shit, live streaming. And he says, cut down on it. So yesterday, I went food shopping. And I was in the Publix and I went going down the aisles and I just avoided the coffee aisle. And I went down the soda aisle and I said, I got to get something that's decaffeinated. So I picked up a couple of bottles of grape soda. All right. Yeah, picked up a couple of bottles of grape soda. So this morning, I'm sitting here drinking a nice cool glass of grape soda. And I says, while I was shopping, the doc said, get something healthy. I said, fuck yeah, get something healthy. I went over to the fruit stand. I got me some slices of watermelon. Okay. And it's got to have something healthy. You know what I mean? A good vitamin A and shit like that. And as I was sitting here this morning, talking with all my shipmates and getting ready to gear up for this show, I grabbed my phone and I said, I'm going to need some food later on, and I'm really not going to have time to cook doing this friggin' show. So within a few hours, I'm going to have some Popeyes fried chicken delivered. All right. I love me some Popeyes fried chicken. I tell you, man. That's some good shit. Nice and spicy, gets things moving along. So when you sit on the hopper in the morning, everything flows. You know what I'm talking about? And you don't have to use those Depends or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Have you ever seen the movie Good Morning Vietnam?
Yes, I have.
Do you remember the episode when that captain was in there being the comedian on the radio with his little puppets and everybody was looking at him like all horrified because he thought he was funny, but nobody else thought he was funny? Do you remember that scene?
Correct. I know where you're going.
Yeah, okay. I think I just had a flashback to that movie.
Right, so
sorry. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do here is JW is a little anxious to get going and shit.
No, man. I'm like,
I know he is, but I told him I would save the purple crayon for him. All right, I will save the purple crayon.
Here we go, the crayon eater crap.
And I want to turn this over to Aloe DeWinter because I think he has quite a fantastic overview to give to all of you. All right, take it away, Aloe.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's fantastic Riff Raff Radio. We already got 40 plus people listening to this. And I just want to tell you, yesterday I was listening to some of the other live streams, and at any given time, they never had more than like 19 to 22, 23 people. And just before you set this up, Popeye, we already had around 20 people waiting for us to start the show. We will talk about a lot of things today. We will talk about the vloggers in Thailand. I hope that we will get Twitchy on. And somebody just put out the video about that incident in Kamala with Sunny in Thailand. I was talking to Sunny in Thailand, Sunny Schollenbrook, the guy that is doing vlogs over in Thailand. Very interesting guy. Twitchy and him had an encounter in one of his I don't know. It's a restaurant, Kill Bill, the name of it, and a very interesting issue. And I believe some of you guys will also do or talk a little bit about the situation in Thailand. And then I will also send out the link to probably Wally and John Doe if they are around later on. But it's really fantastic to be on this panel one more time because I would like to just ask you guys, and in this case, you, Popeye, what is this whole drama all about between you and Bama? Because I saw he was threatening you, was talking about getting a brick and then attack you with it. He was yelling into the cam and said, "Hey, come see me in, I think in Quezon City it was." And we got the other guy, BAE, who was talking about us all the time again, made some nasty comments about Eric's wife, for instance, made some nasty comments about all the panel members on this show. And I want just to ask you what is going on. And after that, I would like to ask Johnny about how much he is involved in this and what he knows about that, how updated he is about all this. But please explain us what is going on between you and Bama. Why is he so mad about you? Why is he so upset about this show here? Because it was the first time actually that he called me out as well and said Alo is talking a lot of shit. And just a couple of days earlier, before he did that show, I realized he must have been upset about something. And I was talking to him on FB, and he told me it's you and Dave who are talking shit about me. And then I asked him, so what are you talking about? And he was not really able to explain to me what is going on. And then he backed down and said, okay, no, it's just Popeye. And then here you go. Next thing you know, he goes on the BAE show and attacks me as well. So what's your side of the story, Popeye?
Um, I was in a show with Quentin Blue, and he come into the chat, and we were talking about these dentally challenged motherfuckers. I mean, this guy, he definitely needs to go see a dentist, get some front teeth. All right, it would behoove him. Uh, he he's been in PI for quite a while. He's a known scammer. He's a known e-bagger, and he's starting up, and he wants $150 on a GoFundMe, which I would not even give him one centavo. Okay, because this motherfucker comes into the chat, starts talking shit with me, and then starts, putting out threats that he's gonna physically kick my ass if he can ever get a hold of me. Now, Quezon City, I would not go to Quezon City. Oh, that's not my deal, but that's neither here nor there. This is a guy who begged a Filipina, a really nice Filipina. She does a lot of great things for people in her own city there in Manila, Rona. She has her cooking channel, and he begged her for a load for his phone. Now, this guy is on disability, SSDI, and he's come to Philippines, so he sounds like he can't afford anything, so he's probably getting 500-600 bucks a month, and it's just not going to carry you in Philippines unless you want to live that squatter lifestyle. If you want to do that, be my guest, and that's what he's doing. And I've seen the progression of this guy. He looks like Mr. Clean on crack, okay? And everything that comes out of his suck is a lie. So he come in the chat and he got pissed because I brought that up. You know, he got pissed because I brought up, there's videos out there of him saying that, yeah, I beat my wife, yeah, I beat my kid. Uh, the guy has a different Filipina every other vlog he does. I mean, it was great when he was doing his gaming shit and he wasn't in and he wasn't into e-begging and all that. And the guy goes from house to house, or what I affectionately call warehouses that these e-beggars live in, little hot boxes. And he squats there until he can recoup some money to go drinking, smoking his Hope cigarettes, talking shit. He telling Filipinas that he has no money, uh, you know, but yet, and I look at the kind of Filipina he's always with, and the kind of Filipina he's always with is a GRO, what they call guest relations officer. Okay. And I think most of you in the chat know what a GRO is. It's AKA bar girl. All right. Now, I'm not putting down bar girls. If they want to be bar girls, be bar girls. Okay. I'm not putting down Filipinas. I'm not saying that all Filipinas are bar girls, but there are some that are bar girls. And that's what he wants to associate with. Be my friggin' guest. Um, I wish you all the best of luck. He's come into the chat and even stated that he is mentally unstable. He did a video and he threatened me and he said, "You come to Quezon City, I'm going to hit you with a brick. You don't know shit." Because when he was making all these threats, I just kept saying, I said, "Look, dude, I'm trained, you're not. And you've lost a lot of weight, you're malnourished. Philippines hasn't been good to you." I told him, "Go home, get a job, get therapy, get into the system, start taking care of yourself because it's not going to end well for you in the Philippines." And that kind of pissed him off. And you got guys like BAE, they're using people like uh, Bama as their little attack dogs to come out and attack me. And I did notice, Aloe, that he backed down from you. I don't know what it is, Aloe. You're like the Godfather, man. You're like Michael Corleone, man. They all fear you, man. They
No,
back down. How
no,
how how can I get respect like that, man? I want them to fear me, you know?
I don't really think it's that. No, I think that he was very upset about something. He
Uh
was
huh.
upset about what was said, and they went back and forth also with John Doe and others. And honestly, I must tell you, all of you remember that a few months ago, it seemed that he was taking his channel into a different direction. Everybody said, "Hey, he is the comeback kid of 217. He is the guy who has turned around for the betterment of his life." And what I mean by that is a total absence of any form of e-begging. And next thing you know is he comes back and posts things in FB saying, "Hey, I want to know who is my true friend, who could send me 150 US dollars, who would be able to help me out." And if you discuss that or if you bring it up, then it's kind of like as if you attack him and he feels very upset about that. And then he makes threats and so on and so forth. And I think that's not a good idea. I want to tell you this. I believe when you look at what is going on in the Philippines, there is a category in the Philippines, the category of undesirable aliens. And I want to be very clear about that. If the Bureau of Immigration thinks that you pose or you are a threat to the public safety in the Philippines, they do not need a court of law to rule or you don't need to be prosecuted. If the Bureau of Immigration thinks that you pose a threat, then they can put you and declare you as a persona non grata. You don't need to be judged by a court. There is no need for a verdict. It is very clear. It's a whole range of offenses that are out there, and one of the things they might look at is when you make threats in public, you might risk your status as a tourist in the Philippines. And one thing that I also wanted to mention is that he said, okay, Alo is not a Filipino citizen, and he mentioned that because he felt a little bit uncomfortable about the things that I have told him a few weeks earlier, because I told him, look, when people, foreigners in the Philippines, talk about buying drugs and admit that they are smoking weed in the Philippines, it is really not a good idea. And of course, I'm referring to certain people he also knows and consider friends. And he didn't really like that. What he told me then is, hey, I'm not part of it. I have nothing to do with this. But yesterday, he was very upset and said, Alo is a guy who's trying to threaten us. And I actually never really did that. All I'm saying is, if you are on a tourist visa, if you are a foreigner, you need to be very careful, and you cannot make threats such as threatening people and say, come see me in Quezon City, I will use a brick, I will leave you dead on the side street, and so on and so forth. I'm mentally unstable, because these are his words. If somebody would take this and send it to the Bureau of Immigration, this might be a cause for them, a reason for them to declare a person as undesirable alien. I do not know if they would do that or not, but I'm just saying he would risk his tourist visa. And the reason, again, why he said is Alex is not a Filipino citizen is because he thinks Alo couldn't do something like that, right? That's what I think.
But
Is
you
behind.
are a Filipino citizen, aren't you?
Yes, I am a Filipino citizen, but some say now, okay, Alo couldn't do anything because he's not a Filipino citizen, because they are
Ah,
very focused on that. So if I'm a Filipino citizen or not, um, that's up to you. That's it. I don't want to entertain that or discuss that. He just
okay.
said Alo couldn't do anything, but I wouldn't go as far as pushing it to the limit, because I think as of now he's just upset, and he feels that there is some sort of backlash again in the community. Uh, it's the same with John Doe. When John Doe called him out for the $150 FB posting, he said to John Doe, John, get the fuck out of my FB account. What are you? It's none of your business. You fuck boy, and so on and so forth. It's a very violent, aggressive behavior that we see, and you see that with all of them. It's not
Well,
only.
doesn't that come with the mentally unstable? So there was one statement there that's true.
Yeah,
Violence.
but that
Okay.
again is also poses a risk, actually. To the public safety of the
Can
people
I
in the Philippines. Yeah, please, Johnny,
can
your
I
two
just
cents.
contribute right here, because I actually have recent experience relative to something similar. And there's a general statement or a general consensus that as long as you're not jacking around with a Philippine citizen, that there's really nothing that the legal system's going to do to you here in what is that in the background? Somebody got a radio or TV on or something?
That's not me.
Not me. That's not me
That's
too.
Will Wonks.
Is Will Wong's here? Okay, yeah.
So, but recently, with the experience that we had with the individual that chose to be smart and leave the Philippines because of the criminal complaints against him, the PMP sat right there, foreigner on foreigner, and turned to him and said, if you're in here again doing the same thing, the same rhetoric, he was doing the same thing that Bama or BAE is doing. And it was the assistant chief turned right to him and said, you're going to end up in jail. We're going to arrest you. That's when he made the decision that it's time to bolt and he left. So there's going to be a point where if he is pulled into, whether it's Bama or BAE for the rhetoric, if they're pulled into a PMP station, you're going to be held accountable, even if it's foreigner on foreigner. So my point being, look, if Popeye comes to Subic, right, and Bama is running his mouth, and Popeye actually feels threatened, he can file a complaint and ask to be mitigated, be moderated by PMP. PMP will try to find resolution to it. But at the end of the day, if they don't feel warm and comfortable on both sides or one side, they're going to do something. And it could be as much as, giving the warning or being active and arresting the guy and deporting him, handing him over to BI and he's gone. So it depends upon how much documentation, how much rhetoric, how much BS they want to continue to go on here and use as far as what's going to be presented in front of them if they continue the threats, because those threats are taken seriously. That's something you would think, I say, somebody would be smart enough not to do, but I'm sitting here thinking about who we're talking about, and neither one of them are the sharpest crayons in the box. So, I don't know. But, Aloe, as far as I didn't really even know who BAE was. Really didn't give a shit because I think I saw once he started running his mouth once before. I went and looked at some video that isn't he the one that did the JLB thing about JLB and
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I watched that and I'm sitting here listening to this guy, and the guy sounded like a complete fucking idiot. So I was like, all right, well, it's entertaining to a point, but his ability to articulate it just was kind of depressing, I guess. So I didn't give him any more thought until recently. Now all of a sudden, somehow, some way, I'm getting caught up into this where there's comments about how Eric is begging me to go on his show, which I don't quite get where he gets that, and that I probably fucked his wife. Now that's rude and obnoxious. And see, that is slander and libel against a Philippine citizen. And that is something that a complaint can be filed against him. All right. And what will happen in that process is, and I'm not going to mention what his wife's name is, but if Baguio Life's wife decides to file a complaint with BI that she's being slandered by a foreigner, the foreigner is going to be asked and questioned the next time he does a renewal on his visa, whether it's a tourist visa, if he's on a 13 Alpha, even though even though he's in residency status, you don't slander a Philippine citizen. That's accountable. And do you know what the minimum is? Not all the time. Man, they can do anything from deporting you on the spot, right? To and the most minimal that you're going to get out of there probably is going to be restitution. You're going to have to pay a price to the individual you slandered. I mean, if you look at the way the law is written out, no matter what, if you get called in, you're screwed. You're going to lose money out of your pocket one way or the other. So he's committed something that, but just through flipping his freaking lips, he didn't think about that. He's now going to be held accountable. And here's Eric in the chat room saying that she's filing on Tuesday, so it's a done deal.
She actually did already. I was not sure if I should mention this or not, but I talked with Eric earlier, and now that he also opened up about this, she actually already filed something last week, and based on what he said about his wife, she will file again something on next Tuesday. Eric told me. Eric, please correct me if that's wrong or right.
No, he did. He did confirm that.
He confirmed it, and it will be after, I believe, in the Philippines they have barangay election right now. She will do that on Tuesday, and
Yeah.
the video where he was talking about smoking weed and going out with a buddy in Ankara City, trying to find guys who um, offer these kind of products, I would say, is also something that he need to explain, because he said it's just all entertainment. And Johnny, it's absolutely correct what you just told us, our audience. Um, there are fines, but in his case, being a foreigner, he just risks a lot more than, let's say, Eric's wife here, because in his case, he risks losing the privilege as a foreigner to travel to the Philippines and to stay in the Philippines. And that's something that's very, very easily taken away from certain foreigners. And again, it doesn't need a court to uh, render a verdict on you.
No,
That's
because the laws are already in place. The
Yeah.
laws, and there's this quagmire or this like murking of the environment for foreigners right now, whether it's good or bad. On the receiving end of this, for us, it's rather bad when you've got an administrator coming out and saying, well, we're going to go ahead and have to enforce these laws that have been on the book already, as far as getting rid of these belligerent foreigners. The public's viewing that, and what they're seeing now is, oh, there must be a problem with foreigners. Yeah, screw it, foreigners are crappy. And there's been a lot of more negative views. I've seen it in the community. I've seen it in traveling and the viewpoints, with all this rhetoric that's going on behind all this stuff. Now, in actuality, how many people have they elevated and increased in deporting? I think what they've done is, correct me if I'm wrong, Ala, because there was just a report out on it. They have categorized, or basically they've done a triage as far as the importance and the standard of what they're going after for these foreigners that are doing crappy shit. And the belligerent ones are down, but they're saying here in the next year or so, they'll be wrapping up what they're doing now, and they're going to be going after directly overstayers and the belligerent guys.
yeah, yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
coming. It
Yeah.
is coming.
Mhm.
But this is negative for us, because we got these idiots that are out here kind of poisoning the well for us, because we're getting the backlash on it. And a lot of people want to make comments about, well, why is it that we go on the radio or go on these shows and we talk about this stuff? What business is it of ours? Look, man, if I can't go down to the market without getting an attitude because I'm a foreigner, it's my business. So I'm going to say something. And if you're a leader, if you're a man, if you got some integrity, if you got some character, you're going to stand up and do the right thing and start trimming the bushes, man, getting rid of these bad seeds and chucking them over the fence somewhere else. I don't care where they go, just as long as my situation here improves. I don't care about these guys. I don't. I could give a rat's ass if they end up belly up, in a rice field somewhere. But they don't need to be here ruining it for everybody else who is playing by the rules, and doing the right thing, involved in the communities, being something other than a consumer of air and a consumer of food products, and shitting in there. That it's some of these foreigners, that's all they do. So it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. We have to be able to patrol our own. So when they're sitting there going, well, what, like BAE, why are they talking shit? Why are they doing this? Don't be a shitbag and nobody talks about you. Mind your business, do your show, and nobody's going to fuck with you. But see, now you want to pull everybody in. I don't know why the hell you're pulling me into anything. I never said two shits about this guy. He's a fucktard. I think everything that he says, there's so many holes in his stories. I think he's probably lied about everything to a certain degree that he said on his show. So, if he really wants to play that, we can start fact checking and really, he could become the project. And I bet you he would love that.
I guess you need to come and see him in his studios for that, because he was doing a show a couple of days earlier and he lost a little bit his temper. And in the back on his green screen, he had a music studio up there, right? One time it was the White House, one time it was a super nice condo, and he lost it for a second and was yelling and said, "Come see me in my studios," kind of like giving you that hip hop artist, hip hop superstar talk. And I think he was talking about Dave. He was calling Dave out and said, "Hey, come see me in my studios if you want something. Come see me in my studios. I want to give you a hug," which is basically a hidden threat, And he makes that all the time. And again, it's not the same if you do it as a foreigner versus the Filipino citizen. And again, uh, I have read up about this, and it is true. Foreigners, when the BOI, the Bureau of Immigration, uh, declares you a persona non grata, it doesn't matter if you took drugs or not. It doesn't matter if you committed libel or not. If they think that you might pose a threat to public health or public safety, they will declare you an undesirable alien. And there is nothing you can do about it. It is a fact. And if you do threats on live streams where people see your face, where people see you, know who you are, where you are, and you're calling out people to see you, and that they will be attacked and killed, then the BOI might decide, hey, this might be something here we need to talk about. And it is not only what happened this time, it's also what happened with people down in Cebu. And yes, people will say Alo is not the right person to talk about all these kind of shit because he is known for doing death threats and shit like that. But then again, I'm telling you, it is not the same if a citizen does it or if a foreigner does it. Why? Because leave the process, the legal process, on the side and just focus on one thing only: being declared an undesirable alien. That really will risk your status as a foreigner in the Philippines. And I want to actually tell these guys out there, please think about this and be very careful what you say, because this can also be turned against you. Because I have heard for the last few weeks, everybody is starting to take legal action now. Everybody thinks this is cyberbullying, this is wrong, this is this, and this is that. But as a matter of fact, it is that camp who has made threats again and again. We have screenshots where people said, if I see Alo, I will murder him. We have these screenshots. And we also have these videos, thanks to Bobby, where this guy and several other guys admitted, bragging about that they were smoking weed, that they went out and they were looking for drugs. And that is just not really a good idea in Duterte's Philippines these days. Couple of days later, the guy comes on a show and says it's just for entertainment. If you
Well,
look at the whole vlog, you know that this was not about entertainment. It's
no,
very clear.
and just here in
Well,
Solano, I want to say like 3 weeks ago, we had one of the tandem hits on a drug strike here in Solano. You know what I mean? So the stuff still, the extra, these, uh,
EJK, you wanted to call it, but
yeah,
I understand.
yeah,
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
are still occurring. So it's not, they're predominantly in Manila is where a lot of that, or the areas around Manila are where it's concentrated on. But they're happening even here in a small town like Solano. In the last 2.5 months, we've had 5 murders, right? 3 of them were drug related. You know, dealing with that. One of them was an honor killing, and the other one was a principal that was executed at the school because of the principal that got fired and that he replaced was taking bribes, and it was something like that. You know what I mean? He decided not to play along with the game and was doing the right thing, and he ended up getting shot for it. So a lot of this stuff is nonsense and BS. But this cat, you know, he was just in the room running his suck, you know, and he's not getting it. He's not. All he's doing now by running his mouth is becoming more and more of a focus. And if he thinks I'm a liar, man, that's what he says. He says JW is nothing but a liar, fake army hero. I never claimed to be an army hero. But if this prick wants to sit there and play this game, you know, I win at it. You win at it, Alo. You know what I mean? We win at this game. I don't know why he wants to sit here and play something that, you know, A, absolutely enjoy doing, and B, you know, he's going to lose epically.
You know, let me give you a little bit of background information about this situation. The reason why BAE is mad at me and mad at all you guys who somehow associate with me is a couple of months ago, he has done several live streams where he was attacking people, and every time they would criticize him, he would use the race card. He would
Oh, I
call
remember this. Yeah.
other black people Uncle Tom, attacked also Roberto, used racial slurs also against me and others. And I just pointed out the hypocrisy of all this because I didn't want to do what everybody else does, obviously, mostly Americans, because it seems that in the US, when you call out somebody, a person of color, they are very, very quick to call you and accuse you a racist or of racism, right? And that's why there was this silence in the community because nobody actually dared. And what I did is I somehow worked out a strategy and said, hey, this guy needs to be called out. And I turned this against him, and it perfectly, he took the bait. He went into that trap, and here we are. Because I used him and his racism for the good of our channel. And he doesn't like that because he thought that when I would do this to him, he thought that the whole community would rally behind him and support him against me. And that has never happened. Quite the opposite is what took place. Because now, here on Riff Raff Radio, uh, he criticized us and mocked us, ridiculed us, and said, nobody will listen to us. Right now, we have 70 plus people. They never have 70 plus people. He brags about how many subs he has, says things like, I have like 3 times more subs than all of you guys together. So if that were true, why is it that your views are rather low? And he
Yeah, he's
actually
probably buying
insinuated,
his.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he insinuated also that we are probably buying our views. I guarantee you, nobody here takes this shit so seriously that somebody will go out there and buy views. We don't do that here. People listen to us for various reasons. People somehow like this shit. I don't know exactly why, but they do. That's the reason why they are here. That's the reason why they talk about us. That's the reason why they will continue to talk about Riff Raff Radio. And that is positive because everybody in this community here knows, everybody of the 70 plus guys listening right now knows that what I do is what they call hate channel or drama. And I never really felt bad about that because that's what I do. When I worked out that concept for this channel here, I always said drama might be part of it. But on the other side, calling out certain loggers for their BS will also be part of it, and a little bit information. Who knows? Entertainment.
Okay, I got a question. I got a
Yeah.
question. Right here, let me interject a question. And this is kind of not just you, but to Popeye. And Popeye, I'm gonna ask this, as a U.S. dealing with the crap that we're dealing with in the U.S., right? I mean, what does it matter if you're not being racist? And in today's form of public opinion, if you stand up and start crying that you're not being racist, they're going to say, see, you're racist. What the fuck does it matter? I mean, who cares if we're being called racist for an opinion? I mean, honestly, are we going to get? Are we going to get some kind of merit badge taken away, or not invited to Thanksgiving dinner or something? I mean, I don't know. What does it matter? Who fucking cares? If I remember right, he had said something slanderous about how I was a racist too, and I'm like, well, this motherfucker doesn't know me from jack shit, so he has no concept who I am or what my ideology is or what my philosophy is. He can go fuck himself for all I care, and I really don't care if he thinks I'm a racist. I mean, I think he's a fag. That's my opinion.
Look, there's a lot of people out there, as Americans, we have this little thing called freedom of speech, okay? And out there now, a lot of you guys, like you, Dave, and I could put Aloe in this category. They, understand that and realize it. And it points to, I have to point to England, all right, where they have the speech police, where if they say something out of line politically or socially, their Twitter account is gone. They're actually arrested, okay? And people want that in the United States now. There are social justice warriors out there, man bun, manty wearing mofos out there, and they think now your speech is a crime. Okay. I have a clue for everybody. Even if I sat here and said the most racist things in the world, I still have my free speech, but I have to pay for what I said. There's going to be blowback. Okay. And these motherfuckers are going off to Philippines and think they have freedom of speech, which they do not. They don't have freedom of speech. Right? And they're confusing freedom of speech with hate speech. If you look at their comments, especially BAE, I mean, this bad boy in one breath calls me a racist, and says other nasty things about me, and then turns around, and makes racist comments at me, and I laugh at it. I just laugh. I mean, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. And see, these uneducated idiots cannot differentiate freedom of speech from hate speech. When you push back on them and you point out they're e-begging, like, I'll give you a prime example. I got a comment from Black American Expat, and he says, I just opened up a super chat and I collected $100. So am I an e-beggar now? Now, take that statement. What does it say to you? It says, please give me attention. He's an attention whore, okay? And he needs that attention. And when you push back on what he's doing, how he's doing it, and you give him that criticism, he will take it to the level of being I'm a victim, just like the Gollum. You know who I'm talking about, the guy that likes to crash scooters.
Hey, Popeye.
Yeah.
BAE is saying that he kind of wants on the show. Now, here's
No,
my
no.
opinion.
I've had
That
him on the show. It's not going to happen today.
Yeah, he was invited onto my show this morning. You
Mhm.
know, I asked him to come on and have dialogue so he could actually see who I am. And that motherfucker, didn't have the balls to even have just a conversation, right? But he's there in the chat room trying to get everybody riled up, saying, "Oh, I want on, I want on." I actually don't think that he would come on, even if you send him the link, because he's a coward himself.
Well,
But
see, the reason why he's saying that is I got 70 people watching now, and
yeah,
he wants the attention. I'm not going to give him that attention. He is done. All right. I know who he is, what he is, and why he is. He is done. He's already been on this show, and he does nothing but yell and scream and talk over people. And I'm not into that today. Just not into it. Do you see my point of view on that, Aloe? Would you agree or disagree with me?
Actually, I disagree with you, my dear friend, because I tell you this: if he wants to come on, let him on. Let's give him a chance, because there's one thing that I would like to put out there. Let's talk with him directly, and it's not my decision because you already put it out there. But let's ask the 70 plus people right now in the chat: do they want BAE on the show? Press one, and if you say no, then press two. I'm sorry to throw you under the bus here, Popeye,
I
but
expect
that is my
nothing
verdict.
less, you fucking lunatic. I expect nothing less. That's why I said what I said, because I already know where you're going. But I will have to say, dude, I mean, what is the deal with this guy? I mean, you really want to give him that coverage? Think about it.
well,
Look,
it looks like it's going to happen because it's all ones.
it's the people
If
who
either one of
I
you
don't want to.
guys, if either one of you guys want to send him the link, I'm not going to sully
I
my.
got
I'm
yeah,
not
I
going to
got no
sully.
idea how to contact the fucker.
I'm not
So
going
I
to
don't know.
sully. I'm not going to sully my keyboard. All right.
Okay,
The guy
this is
has the guy has come out and said that I did unspeakable things to my daughter. So why do I want him on the show? Uh, you know what? I'm running the show today. I'm clamping down. It's not going to happen uh, because I will actually lose my cool with this fucking idiot.
and that's exactly what
Okay.
I want you to.
No,
Okay,
it's
well,
not gonna.
hold on.
It's
We can't do that because, hey, Aloe, remember,
Yeah.
we got to respect our elders. And he just went to see his gynecologist this week, and we got to make sure that he does not stroke out on the show. So let's go ahead and give him this
Let me
one.
Okay. Let me just address Twitchy. I heard Twitchy is in the chat, and Twitchy, you are on the road still. You might come on next week. You might still come on this show. Absolutely no problem. Just want to give our viewers an update. Twitchy would have been on the show, and we would have talked a little bit about the Thailand vloggers. But since Dave is also not on the panel, I guess he was also doing a little bit homework about the Thailand scene. We might just do that next week because this show actually right now is really good. We get 70 people watching, listening to this, and that's actually 3 times more than BAE had the last time, right? So you don't really need a lot of subs to get a good number of views. The reason why people do not sub to this channel is because they do not want us to feel emboldened and proud about the rising number of subs. That's probably what it is. I mean, I cannot explain or I can't think of any other explanation. That's probably what it is. It's a little bit like I listen to them, but I won't admit to it. So I won't sub to it. It's that pathetic. It's true, it's really true. So again, if PAE is out there, I will be the one to send you the link. BAE, you know my FB account. It's All of the Winter. contact me there, and I will send you out the link, and then let's see what happens. But I also want to be fair to Popeye here.
No,
If
it's
you
not going
think
to happen.
Popeye,
It's not going
wait,
to
wait a
happen.
second, Popeye. If you think he is disrespectful or starts to
No,
talk
he's already been
over
disrespectful. Listen to me. Look, this motherfucker has the balls to get on his own show and say, if anything, anybody or anyone ever says anything bad about my wife or his girlfriend, whatever she is, or kid,
anyone.
they they will I will rain holy hell on you. Okay. Now this motherfucker, I got a video of him in Discord of him saying unspeakable things about my two daughters and myself, and I will not repeat them. And he will not be on the show, so fucking forget about it.
What do you think about that, Johnny, as a guest today?
I like pizza.
Yeah,
It's tough around here. I know it's tough around here. I mean,
No, no,
decisions
it's
like
just
this, it's
look.
really tough around here.
I gotta. Here's the deal, though. I mean, at a certain point, you guys weren't ready to bring him on, and with that kind of history there, if you're gonna do a show with an idiot, you got to be prepared to actually think like an idiot. And I don't think anybody here right now is compelled to degrade themselves to actually communicate with this idiot. So I suggest that you guys just let him be an idiot in chat, or let him be an idiot on his show, and we'll just continue to talk shit about him and get him really pissed off, and that's fun.
agreed.
Because then Popeye won't stroke out, and his vagina won't bleed.
And no, this is another thing. On the other show, they often accuse us of talking shit like this, and they call it gay talk and stuff like that. And they don't realize that it's basically just banter, because that's really how it is. But they take it to attack me, for instance. And I take this with humor. I take it with humor over on Discord. The guys always make fun of certain things that I have said and put out there. And at some point, you have to take these jokes with humor. You can't take every shit absolutely seriously,
Well, and
because else you just come off as a very
I need to
bitter,
stop you right there.
unhappy guy.
This guy does not joke. Okay, this guy is serious in what he says, and he means.
who are you talking about? BAE?
Yes.
Okay, and here, how can you take him serious? Isn't he the guy that spent all that alone time with JLB, pointing out the lady girls, and what the hell you think he was doing with JLB? He was bending over and taking in the ass by JLB. What do you think? I mean, why else would he be hanging with him? The dude's a fag. I'm telling you, BAE is a fag. He's like super fag.
Well, I could neither prove that or
watch the video, because when he was talking, he was using his Barry White voice when he was talking about JLB and his lady boys. Yeah, exactly. He was totally in love with JLB when he was talking about it. You didn't hear it in his voice? It was almost like he was singing his name. I heard it.
Because a lot of times, like I said in the last show, I had people send me reports. Okay? I have people out there, they send me reports, I review them, I try to and I go to verify them because my time is limited. Okay? And I can't go running around to every fucking show. All right. So I get these reports, I view, I try to verify and give everybody truthful information. Okay. And I could say that I've never stood up here and insulted his girlfriend or his child. I can honestly say that. And I would not even jokingly do that. And the one video I viewed in Discord where he talked about Aloe, he talked about Dave, he talked about me, and he actually said, I can come out and make up shit too. He thinks we're making shit up about him. Well, if you listen to his show, every time he starts out, he gives his resume. Take all his shows where he gives his resume, and you will see nothing but holes in each story as you go down the line and down the line. And I'm not going to have a guy on here that has insulted my daughters, has said unspeakable things about them that I cannot repeat on this show, that no man or woman should ever repeat. This is why this show is called Puking Dogs, because these e-beggars are nothing but puking dogs. And
Which is
I,
actually a good lead into what Aloe should be talking about to change the subject now. Is the
okay,
definite to define. I mean, honestly, if we're not going to let him on, you know, and I'm not going to apologize for calling him a fag because I do think he's a fag, but I really shouldn't have been, you know, so detailed about why my theory of why he is a fag, or even, you know, it's not bad to be a fag. If he's a fag, he's a fag. That's his choice to be a fag. It doesn't matter. But what we should do at this point is Alo earlier was saying that he may need to do to define what an e-bagger is and make sure that
Absolutely.
there's a little clarity on what the two of you are
Mhm.
focusing on. Because I think there's and me included, you know, I, I that was one of the reasons why I came on
yeah,
is because I wanted to confront you as far as what your definition of an e-beggar is and how the fuck, you know, everybody just because we're out there trying to get uh, cash to either support projects or community service projects, you know, that's not necessarily e-begging. So I guess maybe now would be a good time for a little bit
Yeah.
of a definition of that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely true. And I thank you for that to bring up that point. Sometimes here on Riff Raff Radio, things get a little bit heated, and it's exactly what this show is all about. But e-begging, the topic of the main topic of the last few weeks. Um, I have heard of people who say Riff Raff Radio is now supporting e-begging. Riff Raff Radio attacked so many e-beggars, but they are also supporting, or they are also e-beggars actually. And I have heard of guys who said, "Hey, Popeye and Aloe are going after every person, every vlogger who has a PayPal account." And you guys, or at least some of you guys, remember that I have talked about this on many different live streams, and I've put that out many different times. That I said, if you are a sub, if you're subscribed to a certain channel and you think that the guy or the girl is doing a good job, and you send him money and say, "Hey, I want to support your channel, you're doing a good job," there is absolutely nothing wrong about that. I have seen vloggers who receive cameras. I have seen vloggers who have received support through PayPal, other means, I mean, other channels on YouTube. And what I am saying here is that is absolutely not a problem. We never attack people who get support from their subs. That is very clear. But there is a thin line between e-begging and this kind of support. And I give you my personal definition. And I don't know if you, the guys out there, would agree to that. But my personal definition, because begging in itself has a very negative connotation in Western society, but also in some other societies, it is looked down upon. And it's actually one of the reasons why Twitchy over in Thailand gets, at least for that, he always gets attacked, is because he calls these e-beggars out. Now, definition. What is an e-beggar? What do I think is an e-beggar? It is a beggar who uses electronic gadgets in the internet people to give him money. So he is a scammer. E-beggars are also people who don't want to work. They are taking a shortcut. They tell their subs, "Please help me because I have a medical condition, I need money, and it's not because it's an emergency situation. It's because they use their subs to come up for their living expenses in a, and they do that in a very negative way. What I'm
Okay,
saying is, for
Arlo,
instance,
just before you keep going on that trail, you
yeah,
had said something about these people coming on their YouTubes, right, asking for money. That's a pretty generic and a blank statement that you said. Then you kind of went into the whole heart attack thing, you know. But what are you?
it,
Are you
it,
are
it
you
depends
saying?
on it depends on what they ask money for. That is the thing.
Okay, but
When
what's wrong with
somebody
them just coming on if they're providing a service? And what's to say? You're saying that if somebody that doesn't have a job comes onto YouTube,
Mhm.
right, and starts asking for money. Now, I've seen the content, and I'm not talking to everybody, but some of these guys have real talent, and there's quality content that they're producing. So if
Absolutely.
they're being supported by their communities, how is that e-begging, and why isn't his position on YouTube his job? If he's putting
No.
that much talent into what they're doing,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
you
I
know,
understand that. For instance, let me put it this way. There are people now who think Riffraff Radio is attacking people just because some subs provide or support them with money or equipment, and we
oh,
never did
okay.
that because that's absolutely okay. When you like a guy, and you think, hey, this guy is legit, what he is doing, that's absolutely cool. You send him you send him money, you send him equipment, and so on and so forth. That's not the problem. But if somebody misleads his subs and says, i have I had a heart attack, or I will use this money to build a school for kids, and then he keeps like a bigger part of the money, or doesn't disclose what he's doing with the money, and he just uses it to cover his living expenses, then it is about, the keyword here is misleading the subs, and that is a scam, and that is what we are calling out. That's one thing. The second thing, and I will go on to discuss all the groups. The second thing is, we have also people who are using their wife, in this case girlfriend, they pimping them out, e-pimping, electronic pimping, internet pimping, pimping them out, and use that girl to get close to certain guys to send them money, t-shirts, chocolates, money, and so on. And that is also a form of e-begging. That's something that we see right now here in this community, and that is very negative. Then there are other people. They come up with all kinds of stories and somehow try to emotionally blackmail you and say, "Look, I can't work. I life is very hard." They don't want to do anything that would improve their situation. What they want is you guys out there sending them money, helping them out, even that they pulled that several times. They did that several times, and that they are not always honest about their intention. So the e-begging is basically about not being transparent, not disclosing what you are using the money for, and not being held accountable what you do with the money. And sometimes it is indeed a very thin line between good and bad, right and wrong, e-begging and just giving support. And that is and it is not always clear by definition. That's what I try to point out. Because you don't have this black and white situation. Do you somehow understand what I am trying to point out here?
Be careful. Don't be racist. You said black and white. Look, and to degree, I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying. To certain aspects, where you got guys that are using projects to bring money in, and although these projects are being done and completed, they're skimming off the top and they're benefiting themselves. That's a form of e-begging, even though that it's community sourcing. Well, actually, that's a form of fraud. But you know, I can see what you're saying. You know, if you got a vlogger that produces shit content and has real no focus or purpose, right, and is asking for money, I can completely see and whatever. But there are people, all right, you know, and I was prepared to challenge you guys and discuss, you know, why the fuck, you know, because I just assumed you guys thought we were in the category. But well, and here's the other thing. I don't want fucking people thinking just because you guys know me that you're being untrue to what your definition is. You know what I mean? Look, what we do at Expat is we're asking money publicly for first a community project for, you know, the backpacks to kids so that they can refocus their money. And secondly, we're not really asking for money. We want resources, people to send old shit that they're not using anymore to us so we can use it, so we can open up the magazine and we can get better content, because we have people who are demanding more as far as the travel and demanding a higher quality of content. Look, if the audience is making that demand and we are not monetized, there should be no reason why we can't ask them for support to meet their expectations. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but let me tell you something here. That is a topic, and I'm just telling you what is going on right now in the community, because it's the elephant in the room here.
Yes.
People said the guys over on Riffraff are supporting or are also e-beggars now because they did this scooter fund. You hear that from BAE's channel. You hear that from other channels. They talk
Wait,
about
the
it.
scooter fund helping out. Okay.
Exactly. And I would like you to address the guys right now here in the audience who are listening. What is the difference between the Expat TV crew asking for support, and where is the line between you guys and e-beggars? That is one thing. And please, before you answer that question, I would like to hear your definition of an e-beggar. Is an e-beggar something that you would say that's rather negative?
I would look. I don't know if I have a definition of an e-beggar. What I guess where I have my differences is there's scammers, and then there's content providers. And as a content provider, I think if you're taking it as, look, you know, you're providing an entertainment resource, your information resource, you know, you're trying to produce a product for a set defined you know, audience. I think right there, that's within the right of the content provider and his audience. And for me to make an assessment of that and say you're an e-beggar, that's not right. Okay.
So boring.
Well, yeah, it is what it is. So you're butthurt because they're not letting BAE on, dude. I mean, what the fuck, man?
No. You don't regulate my show, okay?
I'm not regulating the show. I'm answering a fucking question.
That's
and I'm telling the truth. You're butthurt because BAE's not on.
No.
Who's regulating anything?
I'll see. Now you're getting upset.
Oh my God. Really?
See,
can I answer the question?
It's so easy to come on here and just poke people and make them mad.
Oh my God.
Dramatic pause.
No dramatic pause.
I'm just fucking with you.
I know you are, man.
No, you don't. It sounded like you're about to drop
a wait.
man or something.
Hey.
Shh.
Yeah? All right. I think
seriously, put the guy. Fuck all this bullshit. Put the guy on here. Let him get eviscerated by us, and then we'll be done with him permanently. He'll go into hiding because, you know, even though he's not very smart, he does have some sort of humility, I'm sure.
No, he doesn't.
He has none. Okay.
No. I'm talking now. You guys had your turn. You guys had your turn. Don't act like the Baggy L Life show where you no, I don't want him on here, and you block him. You know what I mean? Bring him on, tear him up. Don't breathe into the mic too heavy, and everything will be fine. I mean, what's the big deal? He said this. He said this. You know, you're just mad because
but I absolutely support that point of Dave. You know, because I understand Popeye. I absolutely understand where you're coming from, Popeye, and I respect that. But it is my role to honestly tell you what I think, and you told me what you think, and it's my role to ask the guys out there, what do you want? And it was, I saw all ones, not twos. I saw almost all ones. And now that Dave comes on the panel here, welcome by the way, he has a very similar view. So the question now is BAE still out there? And if you are, or any of his fanboys, if you are, tell him to contact me right now over on FB, because he has my FB, and I will send him the link, and then let's see what he does. Alo de Winter, that's the guy with the Chester mask. Go there, contact me, and I'll send you the Hangouts link, and then you come on the show.
I will warn you.
Then let's see what happens.
I will warn you all. Okay. I will warn you all.
I'm going to warn you. Hey, I'm going to warn you right now. Stop it. No. Listen to me. Listen to me. Don't be warning anybody on here, number one.
Just hear me out, number one. Let me finish.
I'm not done. I'm not done. No, you're being unreasonable right now. I have a theory about all this, and you're going to like where I'm going with this, but you're irritating me right now. And I don't like being irritated. Yeah, everybody keeps talking about how they're irritated and stuff. I just took a 5 fucking hour bus ride in the middle of the afternoon.
Well,
so don't talk to me about irritation.
But again, maybe he doesn't want to come on. Maybe he just said, "Send me the link. I want to come on." Maybe he just left, and the problem will be solved just like that. So we're discussing it, right?
He doesn't. He's not on live right now, so he's still out there lurking.
Okay, if you are there,
my theory is,
and if you are serious, get on the show, and we'll give you a chance to get on the show, and then we'll treat you fair. The last time when he came on the show, it was a little bit like circus, but that's because I didn't want to have him on the show.
Oh wait! You said treat him fair.
We'll treat him fair, yeah, but that's what we usually do here. And meaning treating fair is we will ask.
I thought we were a bunch of white boys ready to lynch his ass. That's what I thought.
Please, I cannot say the N word here, because I might risk. But usually he said, "Please, come see me in my studios."
Yeah, I know, but that's what that's what he's gonna say. He's gonna sit there and put the rhetoric out. Oh, they're a bunch of racists.
I fully support Popeye's position, and I support his right to eviscerate the shit out of the guy. Do it. That's fine. But let him come on and then eviscerate the shit out of him.
Can I speak?
Can you speak?
This is how I feel about it. He comes on this show and says one shitty thing about my kids.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is what I'm saying about warning. I will fucking boot him. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair
and
enough.
When I speak, I want to be listened to. Okay. And I'm not going to take shit from this fucking idiot. Okay. And
you shouldn't. No, none of us will take shit from him.
I refuse to even speak to him. So if you three want to go at it with him, be my guest. I will give him.
Go at it.
Right. If you three want to go at it with him, be my guest. Okay. But yeah. I will sit back and listen.
Go at it.
I have only one question. I only have one question for him. Did JLB give it to him in the ass? That's it. That's all I gotta know.
It's a valid question.
Because you know he's gay.
But again,
Like-
BAE, when you're out there, show us that you are serious about this, and then contact me out of the winter on FB, and we'll make it happen. Until that happens, I want to talk to Popeye here. Popeye, I absolutely understand your point. I absolutely understand your point. It's not acceptable what he said. It's not acceptable what he has done. And I understand that you think when he gets on the show that he will talk over you, that he will pull
He
the
will.
BS that he usually does. And if he does, then I'm absolutely 100% with you that we kick the guy off the show. That's absolutely, I absolutely support your view, because we are not here to let him use our channel to make fun of us or mock us in our own
And that's
fucking
what he
house.
wants.
I don't,
And-
you know,
and
call me naive, but I don't think so. I think he will come on. He will be a little bit upset, and then he will tell us, "Play me the soundbite. Play me the soundbite." You know, please, right?
Did you
Nice.
just try to sound ghetto, Aloe? Is that what you just tried to do?
twist
No, I
that.
mean I'm just trying to do the N word, because he usually says N and then please, you know, and that's actually my buzzer. It's an insider. You might not understand the joke, but if you have heard his last vlog, he was talking about, "Come see me in my studios. Nike shoes, please."
Wow.
You know the N word, right? The N word, what they refer to as the N word.
Narcissistic?
Yeah. Okay, then listen to me. Narcissistic, please. Come see me in my studios. The guy won't contact us because he has my FB account contacts, and by now he could have already get in touch with me, and he would have the link. I mean, even Jeremy has spoken to me on FB the last time when we had the show, and I sent him out the link, and he came on, and it was perfectly fine. So BAE is probably just playing with us right now.
Definitely playing with you right now.
He could
Yeah,
be playing
yeah.
with JLB.
He could
Yeah.
be, but he would have
Now,
to be in Thailand
gentlemen,
to do that.
since all of you are involved in the scooter fund, how do you draw a line between yourselves and the e-beggars? Because that's the big question out there. People probably don't really approach you with this. Maybe you have heard of it, but that's what people talk about. And I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. It is what people, because I have my eyes and ears everywhere. I'm Mr. Community here. You know that. And people say, why do these guys on RRR support e-begging now? They criticize e-beggars, but they are e-beggars themselves. What do you want to tell these guys? And I would like to start with you, Popeye. Just in case you didn't have a heart attack right now, because I know that you are not really happy right now. But I would like to start with you, Popeye.
What about these e-beggars, Aloe? I mean, what is there to say?
They say,
Um,
look at Popeye, and I'm not making this up. Look at Popeye. The guy is Mr. Anti e-beggar. He
mhm,
attacks everybody, calls them out for everything.
mhm.
Now he is Mr. Scooter Fund, contributes to it, promotes it on his channel. Where is the difference between the guys he attacks and what he is doing right now in regard to
Okay.
that Scooter Fund?
The difference is I gave to that fund. The difference is I did not keep one penny from that fund. The difference is the young lady that needed that money because this golem, this gutless piece of dog shit who hasn't even an inkling of what a man card is, left this young lady high and dry and made every expat out there look like a piece of shit. Here's your fucking difference.
Dave, your turn. Mayday, mayday.
Dave, I think he fell asleep, Alo.
Your turn then, Johnny.
To be honest, I just don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what their opinion is, to be honest. If they can't have the common sense to think the difference between somebody who is trying to run a scam to get your money and somebody who's actually putting the proof out there that an individual that needs assistance because of an expat, if they can't find it in their heart that that's the right thing to do, fuck them. They can go lick my dirty ass for all I care, and they can sit there and watch JLB 2BAE.
Dave, are you back? 1 2 1 2. Dave, are you back? I think you are cutting out there, or you have some problems with your microphone right now because I cannot hear him. Does anyone hear him? Because it seems he's talking. Hello?
Maybe that's what it sounds like when he talks out his ass.
You're not very convinced about what he told you earlier, right? Because I can hear it in your voice.
What do you mean?
You're a little bit upset, maybe.
Who, me?
Yeah, or he, I don't know.
About what?
I have no idea what just happened. Oh,
No, I'm not upset, Alo. I don't. I mean, trust me. I actually have to care about what a person's opinion is of me to think in any way, shape, or form, to be upset about whether they think I'm an e-beggar or not. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just want to tell you, I had to ask you this question. It would be stupid if I wouldn't, And I wanted you to know, and you know that I spoke about this earlier, also in private, and I said, look, there is this. There are these whispers where people say, "Hey, you guys are actually e-beggars," and so on and so forth. And I wanted you to have the chance because these guys, they don't necessarily come to your channel. They are here right now listening to this because this is the channel where people come to when it's about e-beggars or all the drama out there.
And which is totally understandable.
Yeah. So when you had that's the point that I wanted to raise. But I think we lost. I think we lost Dave here. I think there must be a problem. He might have been using Eric's microphone. I do not know. By the way, Eric, when you're listening to this, your first mic, just for you to know, is perfectly fine. There was no need for you to go out and get yourself a second mic. We were just making fun, okay? So your mic is perfectly fine, Eric. Give that other mic to somebody else who can make use of it. Right now, I am talking with Justin Gypsy Jaywalk, and I gave him the Hangouts link. He was contacted by BAE. BAE told Justin that I am blocked on his FB, so I gave Justin the Hangouts link, and I hope in the next few minutes, we will have BAE on the show.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
This will be fun, yeah.
All right, before you do that, I want to get back to this e-beggar shit thing here. I had people
anchors away, my boy. Anchors away. Oh, sorry, I had that little flashback.
Okay, Eric Jr., just Hold on while I get my.
Oh no, you didn't. No, come on now. You didn't just do that, did you? You old fart.
Now,
I hope you
had
do
pe-
stroke out.
I had people contact me and ask me if JW was an e-bagger, and I emphatically told them not only no, but fuck no. And if he was, I would have his head on a stick, like I do the e-bagging Cebu crew. Because I don't see Johnny Warrior getting into the cam, twirling his hair and saying, "Hi, boys." I just don't see it, you know? He actually has an income that he has actually earned. And when he does what he does, uh, it's actually proven that, these funds or whatever go to the cause he is supporting. So, I mean, people are trying to start shit out there. Okay? And these fucksticks like to muddy the water and try and do damage. And for shows like BAE, the Chixie Cam Girl show, the Santai 7 I Play with Toys show, and I love to paint them and waste 9 years of my life while Russian and Ukrainian women rip me off show. Those are your rebaggers, okay? As for this guy, Jay, I remember Jay was on the scene a while ago. I mean, these guys must be fucking nervous because yeah, if you want support for your channel, great. You can have all the support for your channel you want, as long as you're spending that money on the support for your channel and you're putting up viable and good content. But if you're a jobless fuck and you're just staring into the cam and saying hi, boys, and super chat me, and I want a new apartment, I want an air conditioned Honda, or I want a piece of shit Honda like Ella DeWinter drives. Go the fuck away. Just go the fuck away, please. All right.
Go away.
And we have Dave back.
Just don't go away, man. Just go away. Just like Motley Crue. Can you hear me? Am I coming in loud enough?
Yes,
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a shitter, dude.
Hey, there's nothing I can do about that. I took my Bluetooth headset and I'm out in the lobby right now, and there's a bunch of kids. There's a debut going on here. So apparently, everyone on the fucking planet took every fucking one of their 15 kids here, and they're running around in the hallway at almost midnight.
That sounds
It's
fun.
ridiculous, man. It's a blast. So where did I leave off about the? Was this about the? Yeah.
I was asking our guys on the panel here a question. How do you draw a line between your support for the scooter fund and the e-beggars? And Johnny told us about his view. Popeye told us about his, and you will be the last guy here.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. We're doing something selfless for somebody else, and we're not keeping any of the funds. And in fact, I spent my own money to pull the funds out because the funds aren't even available right now. They're not available till the 18th. So that came out of my pocket. Now, here's something I didn't hear the e-beggars doing. None of them passed on the message about supporting this girl that had debt left on a scooter from some random e-beggar. You know why? Because they're all the same. As they love to say, birds of a feather flock together. And they are guilty of this. Not a single one of them put a dime, a penny, anything in that account. Not a single one of them promoted that account, but they didn't mind talking shit about it. So fuck them. They can say whatever they want. In the end, they need us. You know that, right? They need our channel. They need Dave. They need Ali. They need Popeye. They need Johnny Ward. Because without us to discuss, they're nothing. Simple.
as far as being the #1 live stream talk show in the Philippine YouTube community, yeah, I absolutely agree to that, because as I said earlier and also on the last show, I don't think that there is any competition out there anymore. And that's actually the reason why we are moving into the whole Thailand sphere, And I must say, it's a very interesting blogosphere in Thailand, because you also have drama, but it is on a much higher level. You see people attacking each other in a bar. You see people going at each other for real. I mean, there were guys like waiting outside of a restaurant for several days and doing live streams until they get confronted, and that's a very interesting vlogger community in Thailand. And again, next week I hope we will have Twitchy on again, and he will tell us everything about what is going on there. I would like to ask you, Dave, what would have been the guy you would have talked about? Because as you remember, Twitchy named a few Thailand bloggers and told us you might want to look into this and tell us what we think about them.
Oh, it was the German toilet brush. By the way, Kevin, since you blocked me on your channel, you're gone permanently. It was supposed to be the German toilet brush. This Sonny guy, whatever his name is, Sonny
Schollenbach. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the stolen valor guy, the guy that's pretending to be a Navy SEAL with the hair and the Navy SEAL T-shirt and everything. Yeah, he's a jerk, man, and he's a fucking coward too for jumping a guy by having other people attack him from the back. I mean, what the fuck is that? What kind of Navy SEAL would do that?
Have you seen that recent video?
No, I haven't. I've been on the road.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to say much more, but watch the video, and then maybe all of us should. Well, I'm not part of the panel. I'm just a guest. I'll shut the fuck up.
No, I would like you. I would like you to, because you also had, let's call it, an encounter with Twitchy over on this channel here, and I have seen you were also over there. Talked a little bit with him. You have seen the video. Give us your first impressions
Of what? The situation or Twitchy?
of Twitchy and the situation.
Look, man, I'm sorry I'm not on the Twitchy bandwagon. I mean, he seems all right, but there also seems like there's a lot of flags going up. You watch that video. Now, here's the one thing I'm going to say. The video shows none of the fight. And that guy that vlogged it and was saying, oh, here's the evidence that he wasn't attacked or anything. It doesn't show the fight. What it does show is I can only assume it was obviously the same day, and it showed right before and right after the altercation occurred. Okay? And it was obvious he wasn't ambushed because he was engaged in the dialogue on it. But did that happen earlier in the evening, and then he was sitting down, and then they came in and ambushed him, or whatever? So I think there's obviously multiple floggers out there that got it out for Twitchy, and okay, that's fine. But I see Twitchy has a habit of, and I watched his vlog, and it's not just me, but I watched him on a couple of his live stream. He has a problem just off the hip making assessments, and he'll say that, oh, well, I'm based on my experience. Well, that's great. By now, based on your experience, once in a while you're wrong. Maybe you might want to actually get to know who you're talking about, or get to know a guy before you start arbitrarily just spewing shit. That's my opinion.
It's just part of the persona, but okay.
Well, I don't know if it's a persona. You don't know if it's a persona. You're just going on, an assessment based on vlogs and everything else. I think with him, the one thing I'm going to say is, from what I have seen, what you see is what you get. I think that is how he, deals socially, and he is very much experience based. In my opinion. about sums it up there, Aloe. You can roll with it now.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. Because actually, I want to tell our audience here. I was talking to Sonny. I was talking with him in German. I wanted to entice him to come on the show, and this is what he told me. He said, "What would we talk about?" Because he was very reluctant, and he felt like, "Hey, do you guys on Riff Raff Radio do you wanna attack me on the show? What are you planning?" And then I said, "Of course not." And I mean, maybe a little bit, right? But I didn't tell that to him. And then I also mentioned, look, I'm a friend of Cez, and he would also like to talk to you, which is somehow true. But again, that's part of me trying to entice him to come on the show. And then he made it very clear that since he went private, and what he means by that, he doesn't put out vlogs anymore in public. He just only shows it to his, I think, Patreon supporters and so on and so forth. So you don't really see any new vlogs coming from Sunny in Thailand if you don't pay him a certain amount of money, or if you are not a Patreon account member or whatever, however you call that, whatever you call that. And in the discussion, he asked me, will Twitchy be there? Because you guys, and he was referring to the three of us who are usually on the Riff Raff Radio, because you guys are his friend, right? And then I said, yeah, maybe, but it's more about you. We want to get to know each other a little bit better, I said. And I don't think that Sony is that naive, because he must have checked out the channel, and he knew when he went, I think, to episode 6 or 7 it is, he saw on the thumbnail that Twitchy was on, and he knew exactly that RRR is about a certain topic, that there are certain issues that we prioritize on this channel here. And then I asked him, the last question was, so I really do not have a chance to get you on the show. Is that what you are saying, Sonny? And he says, yep. And he wished me well, and I wished him well, and that's about it. So, but I must say, I do not really know much about him. But him claiming, according to Twitchy, him claiming that he is a GSG-9, a special unit in Germany, special forces unit. I don't really think so. I'm not really sure if he really did that, but it would really surprise me. I don't think he is a guy who was in the military or in the police. He comes off like a guy who is a cook or something, or a gardener, or I don't know. Those kind of guys. Not no offense meant to the cooks and gardeners out there, but he doesn't really come off as a guy like that. But quite interesting. And then I also looked into this other guy, Rob, in Thailand, 20 seconds in Thailand, and he is a little bit a mix of what I would, you guys remember the guy who was in Palawan, suits too short.
Yeah,
He is a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. He's a little bit like that. The world is a nice place, and your dreams can come true, and hope for the best, and everything will be nice and good. He's a little bit that kind of guy, Mister. He has this college boy attitude. That's the vibe that I get from him, and a lot of questions. And I would like to discuss all these things maybe next week or another time when Twitch is back on the channel. But very interesting, I must say. What do you guys think about the whole Thailand project here?
I'm excited.
Me too.
Very excited. I have a hard on right now.
Black
That's
American
awkward.
Expat is on the channel right now.
Oh.
Let's get started, I guess. Usually I would say welcome to the channel, but let's not pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on, everybody?
Cut the bullshit formalities. Let's go.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
hear you. You're just as boring
Okay.
as usual. Just come on.
All right. So what did y'all want to ask me? Like what?
No, we didn't want to ask you anything. We already know your rhetoric and you're boring as fuck. Nobody wanted to ask you anything. You wanted to come on here, so say what you got to say.
No, I mean I came on to have a dialogue. I mean the last time I came on to dialogue.
Hold on. We're way past dialogue. We're way past dialogue at this point. You called me all kinds of names, including a homosexual. You closet case.
I mean y'all call me all kind of names too, though. I mean.
No. I didn't call you anything. You called me a name.
Well, I did. I called him gay. I said he was gay.
No, this is way before
Yeah, I heard
that. You
that.
called me all kinds of names, and you love running your mouth about shit because you're all alone if they're secluded and stuff, and then you want to try and pick a fight with me because you think I'm scared. What do you really got?
I'm secluded, Dave.
What do you really got?
What do you mean? What do I really got?
I think you know what I mean. You got nothing.
He's got JLB's dick in his ass.
Well, that's true.
Wow.
Also, you know what it's like. It's like this. It's almost like the reunion. It's like the reunion of Destiny's Child. A big disappointment.
A big disappointment.
Yeah, big disappointment.
What are you talking about? Why are you so angry, Dave? Sound like I got to your blood or something. It seems like you're very upset tonight.
You're not. No, you're not. You got nothing.
I feel like I really got to you. I mean, I hear Johnny Warrior calling me gay, but I'm gay, if I'm gay, well, I'm making babies. Okay, I'm not gonna overtalk you.
I didn't call you gay, did I? Did I call you?
No, I called him gay.
You called me gay. You called me gay.
Man, you called me all kind of names. You threw
no,
first day,
first
day. I did not make any attacks. I did not make any attacks at you, Daddy. You kept on throwing yourself in the equation. You want to say, pick me. First, I was going at it with Aloe, and then you put yourself in the equation. You did a whole show where you talked about me, and I told you, okay, verify what I said. I said, verify what all the things you said I was saying. You did a whole show one time. I woke up one morning, and people were inboxing me telling me Dave talking about you. And I'm like, what do Dave have to do with this? I didn't put you in the equation. It's like you wanted to be put in. You put yourself in this. I don't attack people that don't attack me.
Oh, whoa. Shut the hell up, you lying ass bitch. Okay, you know, I was never part of your equation. You brought me into it with your little fucking sorry ass comments about me fucking saying I fucked Eric's wife. Dude, you just put.
Show me that.
We got it, man. We got it, bitch. We got it. Hey, guess what? You don't gotta worry about it because you can only. All you gotta worry about is saying to POI.
Hey, Rambo, come say this in my face.
Holy shit!
Rambo.
That's all you could do. Yap. Shut the fuck up and listen a minute.
You shut the fuck up and suck my dick, you bitch.
See, you're gay. You're totally gay, dude.
Yeah, you say I'm gay.
You are a
I got babies. I make babies and everything. I'm gay. I got a girl pregnant.
Hey, man, I don't know, man. I'm sure you got them all over. You got them all over. Those closet fags, that's what they got to do publicly, bitch, man. You got to make sure your homies think you're a man, but we know. It's okay. I know your sensitive side. It's all right, man. You can be gay.
Sound like you got a sensitive side.
I got to give a shit to have sensitivity.
Rambo, what you a war hero or something?
Rambo.
What are you a war hero? I mean, I served in the same military you guys served in.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't, bitch. No, you didn't. You didn't do shit. You didn't do a motherfucking thing, dude.
Well,
you are so excuse, man. You're pathetic, dude.
You're a fuck boy. I'm third service.
Dude. Oh, yeah. There he goes. Look, he's talking. Oh, he's running that cock holster. He wants to put something in it.
You sound like a homosexual right now. You calling me while you getting high notes?
There you go, man. Look, I'm getting in your blood, aren't I? Is that what you're... Why are you all angry, PAE? Why are you all angry? Am I getting in your blood?
Another loggy, rear echelon motherfucker.
Yeah, rear.
Literally. I can't believe I brought him on here. He's retarded.
Is there anything you want to tell to us, BAE, and without these accusations, without these, slander in the normal way?
Bitch. I had to mute him for a second. We couldn't get in a word edgewise. You can unmute yourself now, or you can go running. Probably still talking.
Is he even on? He probably ran.
He did last time. He ran away last time, so it's not a surprise. You just have to. Sometimes you have to cut his mic for a little while because he just repeats himself constantly. He called you Rambo. What the fuck is that?
What do you guys think about the Harlem Globetrotters? BAE, you need to unmute yourself. It's very easy.
He knows how to do it. He worked radio forever. You know, he had a big radio job. He was a DJ.
A DJ.
So he knows all about unmuting himself, I'm sure.
Actually, Raymond, we don't call Army of One. It's Army Strong. Army of One was like the absolute worst slogan in the world.
You know what? As much as I respect General Eric Shinseki, a lot of things he did were pretty screwy.
Yeah, that was like the worst.
The beret, the Army of One, where he said he thought soldiers would respect the duality of the term. I'm like, half the soldiers don't even know what the fuck duality means.
The other half may know what it means but can't spell it.
Probably.
Come on, BA. Try to unmute yourself and then say what you got to say.
I'll mute myself so he can talk.
Well, so what do you think, guys? He did exactly what I said he was going to do. He talked over people. Lost in Nomad, you're friggin' wrong. I don't know where the fuck you come off from.
What did Lost in Nomad say?
He says that Johnny Warrior talked all over him. I mean,
you know, this is the problem with Lost in Nomad, and what you say is just really true. I don't know what is Lost in Nomad's role in all this, because I see this guy in all these live chats, and he's somehow also talking shit about us. And why don't you just come on the show one time, Lost in Nomad, and tell us what you really think? You know, because I see you making comments all over the place. I don't really see what your intention is, or what these comments are all about. Please go ahead, Popeye.
Yeah, the way I look at it, if the guy's got something to say, just come out and say it. Don't play fucking games, Like your prior comment that I call Bama's girl a GRO. If you consider that an insult, fine. But I'm not going to sit here on a show and have some guy physically threaten me, especially when he's mentally unstable. But you seem to forget all that, Lost in Nomad. You didn't hear, you seem to like sticking up for these e-beggars. And I understand you're also on the shit show a lot. Yay, look at me.
Let me
go ahead.
He just said he thinks that it was lame to call him gay. He calls us gay all the time. Not that I have a problem with that, but I want to tell you this: when you pretend to be a priest or something like that, and very mature, how come that you insult people who are homosexuals?
Well, see, he missed the whole point.
Isn't it that God loves all?
Yeah, he missed the whole point, Aloe. I have never insulted his girlfriend, BA's girlfriend, or his child, but yet he comes out. I got a video of him in Discord saying unspeakable things. How about you speak to that, Lost in Nomad, and I have never said anything, but yet you got to bring up this guy that's mentally unstable. I mean, help me out here, Lost in Nomad. Where are you going? what are you trying to do, or are you just a guy who likes to incite shit? I mean, where do you stand? Do you stand against e-beggars? Do you stand with them? Um, you know, define yourself, and you're welcome to come on here and do that. I have no qualms with that.
This is what he said. That's a very interesting statement. He has been running his mouth. You guys have been running your mouth. I mean, two wrongs don't make a right. And that's the kind of stuff that I get from Lost and Omen. And it's
Uh-huh.
actually an interesting statement. I would like to know what you really mean by that, because you obviously don't see that if you have these two camps, and that's what it is. It's one camp here, it's the other one. Do you and it doesn't matter where you stand on the issue, but do you see that there is a huge difference between us and them? And what I'm trying to point out here is that the people who are usually on this panel, the people who support us, who sympathize with the Triple R crew, are usually people who had the career, who are decent guys, had have a good job, run a business, and then you have the other camp where you have people declaring bankruptcy, disability fraudsters, people who mooch and beg, people who have criminal records. And if you do not see that, then something must be obviously wrong with you, because it is absolutely obvious that that's what's happening here. Everybody who feels disrespected by us now goes over to another channel and tries to support them because they don't like what we say or do. I don't know. But it is very obvious.
Hey, throw
Because
Lost and No Mount a link.
I would like to have him on the show here. Sam, can somebody
Yeah,
organize that?
he's asking for a link. He's saying he's driving, but he's asking for a
Yeah.
link.
I'll get it to him. I'll get it to him. Hang on one second.
Okay,
I'm
go
not
ahead
sure
on
if
your.
if I'm
Go,
not sure if he's really driving, because when you can write like this and you are driving, I'm not really sure. I mean, it would be easier just to come on the show and talk a little bit, because texting or typing something while driving is probably harder than just coming on the show, since he is very opinionated.
hey, brown American expat, where are you getting your data? I mean, 90% of the expats has criminal background. I mean,
That's bogus.
I know
I always love it when someone throws out a false statistic without any references or sources.
By the
I
way, I
love
just
it.
wanted to mention that we had 80 plus viewers before. That's a new record, 81 right now here on the Riff Raff Radio. That's actually BAE. That's 4 times what you had the last time. And I don't want to brag about this. I just
You
want you to
should.
know. I just want you to know. The reason why I make this a topic is because there were people who said nobody will listen to us. After 2 months, we will be gone. Everything Allo touches will just fail. Nobody will be there. And now we have 80 people listening to this. You know, it is obviously the case that people are interested what we say and what we talk about. Because I always knew that there is what I called, quote unquote, a market out there for these kind of shows right now, right here. That's the reason why we had Quentin Baliu and the Alle de Winter show. And by the way, Dave is really doing a really good job with keeping the Quentin Baliu spirit alive, because some people said, hey, Quentin Baliu is dead because they put a strike on his channel. I see a lot of logs coming out of his channel, and others who experience the same were not able to recover from that. And that is something. It is not about the numbers of views and subs that you get. And obviously they talk about us. I mean, Johnny, I'm not sure if you know about this, but there was a time when BAE started another channel and used our name, Riff Raff Radio, because he
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
saw that.
attack us or mock us. And then he would say they are the real Riff Raff Radio. And after a week or two, it's just all gone. And he didn't back that up anymore. And now that we really have more views, he says, we just buy our views. So it's kind of like a compliment coming from him, because that's what he is saying, I'm kind of impressed, but it can't be for real. Well, it is. Thanks a
Okay,
lot, guys, for coming out.
we have Lost and Nomad on the panel.
What's going on, guys? I use, by the way, I use text to speech when I drive. So I'm not actually typing.
We got it. Don't be a buzzkill. Just tell us.
No, listen. First of all, I like both you guys on each side. Whether I'm neutral or not, I don't give a shit. I like to listen to whatever I want to listen to. As far as BAE goes, I like listening to that Life and Love in the Philippines show that they do on Tuesdays. Been on it a couple times. I also, I like Allo. I like the way he baits everybody into getting into drama. It's just amazing how everybody falls for it all the time. Dave knows. I like Dave. I kind of talk to him, offline every once in a while. So, like the Dave Pondering show. Like to listen to all that type of stuff. So, I just like to listen to you guys talk. I'm not trying to pull sides. When I hear something and I think it's bullshit, I'll say it. It's only my view. I don't mind some people, other people hate other people, whatever. You can't, I can't remember exactly how it was said, he called you gay, but, Johnny gets on here and calls someone else gay. So my point is well, you can't bash someone for calling someone gay and then someone else get on there as soon as he gets on there, you call them gay.
Yeah, no, actually he can. It's two separate opinions.
Well, yes. I'm just, you understand? It's like, oh, this guy's calling someone gay. It's so ridiculous. And someone gets on the show and they call him gay. So I just thought that was a little silly. It's just like, well.
I don't
well, that's my opinion. And I never said anything about. Hold on a minute. I sat here and respected you as you were running your mouth. Let me run my mouth now.
Well,
all right.
I was given.
Okay. There you go. You're running it again. Let me talk. All right.
The irony is he's giving his opinion now.
Yeah. So here I am. I think he's gay. That's the way my opinion, right? I never once said anything about whether he was wrong or fucked up for calling anybody gay. I never once contradicted anything. The only statement you heard me say was that he was gay. So how is that hypocritical? I never said anything about him.
I wasn't referring to you about the gay. I can't remember. Listen to me. My point was,
okay.
Someone said, I think it was Dave, if you typed it in there. I'd have to go back into the chat and look. It was like, we came on, Jay came on here and he called people gay, and it was like, that's ridiculous or something to that effect. Well,
okay, but that's Dave's opinion.
Okay, well, I'm also saying it's ridiculous as a whole. Not, I didn't single any person out. That one side is saying one thing, and the other side is saying the exact thing. I thought that was ridiculous. You can't call one side versus the other. I didn't necessarily pick on one person. Yes, I agree, Johnny. You didn't, as far as I've known, I hadn't heard them say anything about you. As far as I knew, that you weren't even involved in any of them. So
that's where you're wrong. I am, because his rhetoric, and he made the statement that I fucked Eric's wife. All right, that's rude and obnoxious.
I agree. I didn't. What I'm saying is, I didn't hear that.
Well, now you heard it.
To everybody's show. Okay. All right. Well, that's fucked up. I hear a lot of people say fucked up shit to each other on these things, and yeah, I agree. You should be able to defend yourself. Absolutely, 100%. I personally didn't.
So I stand by my assessment. He is gay.
Okay. Well, that's fine. It matters not. When I said I didn't know you were involved in it all, because I didn't hear them talking about you. I didn't know you had any.
Well, get your facts straight, for Christ's sake, before you make an opinion.
All right, let's not abuse the guest.
Oh my God! Yeah, okay, let's all be nice.
I'm just going to give my opinion, guys. I'm not, I think I'm a well-mannered person, and I can, form my own opinions in the proper ways. So.
You know what, Lost Nomad?
Go ahead.
Fuck you.
Beautiful.
That is classy.
Out of all the things Aloe says to everybody, all I get to fuck you, you can do way better. Come on, Aloe. You can do way better. Way better. Actually, I'm
Did you?
insulted. That's all you got for me.
Oh no, you shouldn't be. He said it with love.
Oh,
Did you hear the
well,
way he said
Actually,
it?
I'm not even trying to insult him. I'm just saying, hey, fuck you. That's all.
Yeah,
Because
but
he was
you paused, you pondered it, you developed it, and then you spewed it accurately. I mean, it was beautiful, man. I could feel the love in it.
Listen, Lost the Nomad, it comes off as Mr. Academic. That's what he does. Always neutral, and this is my opinion, take it or leave it. And sometimes I just don't really like guys like that. It comes off like the principal, that high school that high school professor who thinks knows it better.
Jerry
And
the Fairy Talk. Is that what
exactly,
you're
and you just want to get the M16 rifle and shoot him in his asshole. That's what you want to do.
This ain't the Harvard Law Professor fucking show, right? This is the Rip Rap Radio show.
Well, that's good because he's not a Harvard law professor.
Well, he's talking like one. You can stick up for him all you want.
I'm not
I'm
sticking
not
up for
even
him. I'm not sticking up
remotely
for him. I'm
talking
going.
like any type of professor.
Yeah, but this all neutral talk, and you guys call him this and the other guys call him that, and you are just there right in the middle. That's not honest. I know you have an opinion. You just play being neutral. I have read your comment over on BAE's channel yesterday where you said they talk shit about you, you talk shit about them. It's all the same. I don't think that is true. I don't think you can say everybody is bad or everybody is the same. I don't think that is true. It is this Mr. I'm neutral here. I say it how it is. I don't take sides, and it's kind of like taking the moral high ground, and we don't do shit like
No,
that.
not even remotely. If that's the way it's coming off, then that's not what I'm trying to project at all. I'm just, like I said, I listen to YouTube all day long at work. The Philippines is just a small part of it. I got involved kind of with the community through, the hobo kind of sucked me into this. But I like to listen to a lot of the different shows within the within the whole Philippines community. Like I said, I like to listen to you. I like the way you bait these guys in. It's hilarious.
This is really making me have to go shit. I know there's gonna be diarrhea all over the bathroom. It's upsetting my stomach so much. It's too sweet.
You're really low, David. It's right here. You.
I know. I'm trying not to yell because I'm out in a lobby. I'm using the microphone on my computer. This is making me want to just diarrhea all over the place.
I just told Gypsy Jaywalk to contact BAE and tell him through FB, please unmute yourself, just in case he doesn't
He's
hear us
probably
here
still
on the
talking,
channel.
for Christ's sake.
he might even put out the rap song.
So for me, as far as the e-begging, since Popeye asked me about that, and I know we kind of talked about that online a little bit, I personally believe if you watch someone and you like their content and you get some kind of value from it, then donating, I think it's fine. I just don't like it when people, like y'all said earlier, you try to be incognito about what they're doing, when they're raising money.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you a question. So when you watch The View, and I know you're a View watcher, do you go out and buy Massengill products? Because that would be finding value in something, because that's an advertiser.
Well, is that so much different? You're paying for cable and you're finding value in cable?
I'm asking you personally. Do you go out and buy feminine products because you watch The View? I'm sorry.
Feminine products because I watch BAE? Is that what you're saying?
No, you watch The View. I don't care.
Oh, The View. I've actually never watched The View in my life, but I don't buy feminine products.
It sucks. I'm dying here.
I want to read a comment from our home channel security team here. Black American expat live. You have an opportunity to state your case. Unmute your mic and say what you have to say by Graham Cotran, Mr. Australia. And I don't think that he doesn't know how to unmute himself. It's just might be another maneuver of him, and
It
then
is.
tomorrow.
He's waiting for one of us to boot him off the panel. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. He's
And the
gonna
next
sit
thing you
right up
know,
there.
yeah, and the next thing you know, he will do a 5, 6, 7, maybe 12-hour live stream.
Of
Why
course.
the black
Maybe he's
man
looking
was
for
held down once again on this panel here.
He's looking for a hacking program. He wants to get even.
That's
Probably.
not going to happen, because the moment something strange happens here, boom, we are gone. I'm actually the only guy who does this hacking stuff. I'm the guy who took down so many channels, just in case I have not mentioned this earlier. You know that, right, Lost the Nomad? You know that I am the guy who went on these
Oh
channels.
yeah, I believe you
Right?
100%. I believe you
Okay, yeah.
absolutely.
You're the guy that does the voiceovers too, Alan?
Excuse me?
You're the guy that does the voiceovers, changing the voice and shit like that too?
Yeah, exactly. That's me too.
Oh.
And I sound like Jason R.
Why do you gotta be such a cunt, Dallo? I mean, please.
Ouch.
A count about what?
Everything, man.
You know what, Popeye?
Yeah.
You just don't like. You just don't fucking like that I tried to bring BAE on the show, and I know
And
sooner
I
or
will admit
later,
it. I will
the
admit it.
hateful fucker you are, you
Yes.
will make me. You will let me fucking bleed for it. But I just had to do it. But
Yeah.
again,
He
on a more
jumped off.
serious
He
note,
just jumped off, Dallo.
on a more serious note, I really respect your opinion, and I
Well,
understand
thank you for
there is a
respecting my
certain limit.
opinion, Aloe
Yeah.
Winter. You're nothing but a
I mean,
cunt.
I don't
and
mean I don't really mean that, Popeye, but I think it just sounds good,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
he left the panel. Wow, but I still see him here on the
No, he's still here.
he's still
still
here.
here. No, he's still here. Did he tell you,
He's still
Gypsy
here.
Walk, that he just left the panel? And you know what's fantastic? We have 70 people listening right now to this. I mean, what happened to you guys? Are you bored, or why did you come here?
We got 69, my favorite number.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. So, can you sum this all up for us there, Eric Jr.?
Who is that?
I don't know who he's talking about.
There you go. I knew you'd answer up. There you go. Stay present.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I got that purple crayon waiting for you, man. I know that's your
Sure
favorite.
thing, Grandpa. Sure thing,
All
Grandpa.
right.
Because he was great.
Let's call him that, man.
I really wish this guy would unmute himself. I really want to hear him yell and scream some more and have everything come to fruition that I said, that he would talk over people.
He's only in here because he's waiting for our show to end. This way he knows exactly when the show ends and he can start a show. And now we gave him material.
And I want to give that guy a shout out because I think he shows our fantastic Black American expat, really nice guy.
Greatest show
Top
on earth.
content. Greatest show. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, stellar. Fucking stellar.
He actually did his first talk show on my channel, over on my channel. Did you guys know that?
Oh, so you're the one who kickstarted this guy?
He wanted to kickstart it anyway. He was very ambitious during the time when he was still living down somewhere south of Manila, down in Cavite. And I told him to come on because everybody was talking about him. And I knew that there is potential there, but not necessarily the way he thinks, because I knew he is an angry guy. He gets easily irritated and he reacts just the way how you have heard it earlier on this show and then on the other show.
And you love that, right, Alan?
I must say it's not bad, it's good for the entertainment, I'm very contented about how the show developed here. And we didn't even have Twitchy on the show. Think about that. We didn't really talk about the main topics. So there is really enough topics to talk about. And we have a very loyal subscribership. I'm surprised. Every Saturday they come out, they support us, they hate us, there's a reaction. And for that, honestly, I want to say thank you, because I think that's fantastic.
Wow, that's actually in your vocabulary. Thank you, huh? I think it's quite disingenuous of you.
Disingenuous, dishonest, you mean?
Fucking piece of shit Honda driver. Damn. Well, so come on, BA, unmute your mic. Don't be a child, man. Come back and play. Don't take your ball, go away. All right.
I think he's gone now.
He's gone now. He took off, I guess.
Yeah, he won't come back. He is the type of guy who doesn't come back. It's a question of pride.
I give you a dime and a dollar.
He's a DJ,
Yeah.
Give me a
come
dime
see
and
him
a
in
dollar
his studios.
Up and said they booted me off. Oh, in the tears. You know what?
Look. We gave him an opportunity to come on here and talk, and it was mostly at my behest, and I apologize for that because it was the same old boring shit again. And in the end, we've given him more material, so mea culpa, Popeye.
Very well.
Why don't we do the same one time and go over on his channel, and he would just take like 1 or 2 or 3 guys of us and invite us to his channel.
Well,
and then we'll
you know what, Aloe? I'm not
show him
interested.
how it's been done.
Aloe, I'm not interested in losing IQ points going over to his channel.
Yeah, I got a migraine, dude. I'm actually starting to get a migraine from talking to that guy.
Yeah, it was just super. On so many levels.
So, do tell Lost and Nomad, do you have any more words of wisdom for us here?
I don't want to talk to this asshole anymore. Why don't we just kick that guy out?
Boot me.
Oh, seeing how you requested, I'm going to leave you hanging right there.
I'll probably cry also.
Yeah. Well, start crying now so I can fill my cup up. I love drinking tears in the morning,
He sounds like the chick on Kung Pao Into the Fist.
That was it.
That's what I thought.
I thought it was Beaker from the Muppets.
Oh my God, we actually have something in common. I'm just going to jump off the 2nd floor now.
Gentlemen, I think we arrived at the peak of this show here. Let's wrap this up. Round of last thoughts. I would like to start with Lost the Nomad. Just
all right. Well,
keep it short and simple.
No, thanks for having me on. Fuck Alan. You're a douchebag. Johnny, good talking to you the first time. Popeye, see you on your show later. Dave, I'll talk to you later too. See you on your show. Everybody in the chat, have a good one.
Thank you. Let's continue with Dave.
I knew it was going to be me. Look, if you're going to come on here and you're going to run your mouth, at least have a cogent thought, man. Yeah, I let this guy on here hoping that, maybe he would understand what we were trying to do, but he doesn't even know how to play the game right. It's like everything else. It's like military intelligence in the 1960s. They could fuck up a wet dream. It's just ridiculous. So we're not going to talk about him, and we're not going to deal with him anymore. He is now being put out in the cornfield. There's a little Twilight Zone term for you. Look it up.
Did you say cornfield or cotton field? Corn or cotton field?
Oh, boy. We court controversy every day, don't we? Does it really matter what I say? I mean, it's going to get misconstrued anyway.
Because I heard cotton field. But I think you said cornfield. Okay, yeah, just wanted to get that straight. Popeye.
Oh.
All right. It's kind of good that the show's ending right now because my Popeye's chicken has just arrived. I'm out of watermelon, and you can take that any fucking way you want. I don't give a flying fuck. And Johnny Warrior, I just want to say that one of these days I'm going to shove a purple crayon up your ass and buy you a drink. Lost in Nomad, Harvard is calling you. Quentin Ballou, I just really don't fucking know. Aloe DeWinter, you fucking piece of shit Honda driver. Just, you're a fucking lunatic, but I love you, and I really don't fucking mean that. And take it away.
Johnny, please.
Guys, I love it when you let me on here. This is great dialogue. I like the conversations. I like the debates. I like the way you guys come out. Popeye, I can't wait to bend you over your walker and stick a shillelagh in your ass. Dave, once again, the back and forth banter is classic. It just sometimes I just feel sorry for you, but I love you. And
I
Aloe,
love you too.
And Aloe, dude, we've had our shit in the past, but I think we're pretty squared up right now, and I really enjoy how you were, the conversations that we have, how insightful they are, and how they don't have to be dramatic all the time, and gay all the time. And BAE, I really apologize. No, I don't. You're gay. You're totally gay, dude.
Wow, what a show. 60, 70, sometimes 80 people listening to this Riff Raff Radio next Saturday, 10 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. Hopefully with this panel again, probably also with Twitchy. Let's see what happens. I want to say thank you, each and every one of you who came out and was contributing in the live chat. Please leave your comments in the comment section if you have any comments. And I think that's it. Great show. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. We're out of here.